second is shortstop, number 21, Eric Becker. Hitting third at right field at number 9, Henry Ford. Batting fourth at first base, number 23, Chris Arroyo. Batting fifth at second base, number 2, Henry Godbout. Batting sixth and catching, number 28, Jacob Ferris. Batting seventh and designated hitter, number 34, Harrison Didaway. Batting eighth in left field, number 3, James.
Good afternoon, Virginia baseball fans, and welcome back to Russ Chandler Stadium at McNeese Baseball Park here in Atlanta, Georgia, for Game 2 of Virginia and Georgia Tech. Last night, the Cavaliers got the series opening victory, a 12-9 slugfest win over the Yellow Jackets, which means the Hoos are one game away from taking a road series in the ACC away from a top 25 opponent. It's Virginia and Georgia Tech. Thanks for joining us today, exclusively listening here on YouTube on the Virginia Sports TV YouTube channel. I'm Adam Hawes, once again coming to you from Atlanta, where the Hoos have a tall task ahead of them this weekend, but already work done as the Cavaliers rode 12 runs on 16 hits to a 12-9 victory last night over the Jackets. 28 combined hits between the two sides, but it was the Cavaliers with the hotter bats. It was an early lead for Virginia last night as we get you into a recap here before we get going on Saturday of what took place in last night's contest as Virginia jumped out to a 2-0 lead early, and Virginia, beyond that, would not trail for much of the game, although Georgia Tech would answer with 3 runs in the bottom of the third inning. That would be the only time that Georgia Tech would lead, because in the fourth is when Virginia's slugging really got going. 3 home runs all in the fourth inning, highlighted by James Nunnally's first career home run to right center field. That got the ball rolling. Then Aiden Teal followed suit a couple batters later. Henry Godbout chipped in with a 3-run home run of his own, and it was a 7-run top of the fourth inning for the Cavaliers. They would take a lead they would not relinquish, but it wasn't without some resistance from the home side. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets answered with 3 of their own in the bottom half of the fourth inning, but Virginia, a response in the top half of the fifth with an Eric Becker RBI single, driving in 2 of his teammates. Aiden Teal would add a sac fly later. Georgia Tech with a couple of home runs late, solo home runs from Caleb Daniel and Carson Kearse, but ultimately it was the Hoos outlasting the Jackets late last night, just before some weather rolled through here in Atlanta. The Georgia Tech crew did a great job of getting the tarp down on the field, and it looks beautiful here today for a Saturday afternoon matchup. It's a rodeo at Russ Chandler today, at least according to the Georgia Tech promotions, and lots of cowboy hats being passed around here, although still waiting to see some of those debuted. But it should be a good one, as we've got a pitching matchup today with a pitcher for Virginia making his first career ACC start in Bradley Hodges. Has been working his way back, did not pitch in 2024 due to recovery from Tommy John surgery, rejoining the Cavaliers this year on the active roster, and he has been spectacular in limited appearances this season. Just 5 starts on the year, but in 15 and a third innings has only allowed 2 earned runs. He's got 24 strikeouts and 7 walks. And so he was slated to go last weekend against the Florida State Seminoles in his first career ACC start last Thursday, but due to that series being canceled, Virginia gives him the ball on Saturday. Today, they'll go with Tomas Valinkas tomorrow. Evan Blanco pitched earlier in the midweek, so they're going to go with the junior from Florida in Bradley Hodges. Taking a look, a 1.17 ERA, as I mentioned before, only 2 earned runs, and a 1-1 record on the season. Taking a look at some of his recent performances, and most recently against the VCU Rams, he was dominant. 5 innings, only allowed 2 hits, struck out 7, and did not walk any batters. That was his career-long outing, 5 innings, 74 pitches, and picked up his first win of the season. Only his second career win, but Hodges is poised to go against one of the better offenses in the ACC. This is a Georgia Tech team. Comes into the weekend batting .322, slugging .542, and an on-base percentage of .426. They're the best team in the nation in terms of two baggers. They've got the most doubles of any team in Division I college baseball. Led, of course, by Drew Burress, the preseason first-team All-American, a consensus first-team All-American, and the reigning ACC Freshman of the Year. But he's not alone. Kyle Lodies as well. He went yard last night. Lodies leads the team in home runs and RBIs now after his night last night, and is an imposing force at the top of the lineup for the Jackets today. Virginia comes in with a record of 23 and 15. Georgia Tech now at 29 and 13. Virginia, by virtue of winning last night's game, pulls themselves above 500 in the ACC. They now sit at 10 and 9. And every game going to be critical for the Hoos from here on out. They missed a chance against a top 10 team last weekend due to mitigating circumstances, obviously. But still, Virginia needs some wins to bolster that resume before heading into the postseason. Not a guarantee, as it stands right now, that they would be in the field of 64 in the postseason. But there's still plenty of baseball to play left in the regular season, and a win today and a series win down here would likely put the Cavaliers, if not back in the field, back into the conversation. So a lot at stake over these next 2 days, but if Virginia can take care of business today, that will be a huge pick-me-up going forward. Not to mention, you're beating the number 24 team in the country in Georgia Tech, one of the best teams in the ACC. In fact, coming into yesterday, actually had the most wins of any team in the ACC at 14. They don't have the highest winning percentage. That belongs to Florida State. But this is a Georgia Tech team that is thinking about a potential ACC title. And North Carolina has matched them in wins now at 14 and 8. But Georgia Tech sitting tied for third behind Florida State and NC State. And that top four looking pretty strong, just above Clemson, Duke as well, right in the mix. And just below them, Louisville and Virginia and Miami. Virginia's next ACC opponent. That'll be in 2 weekends at the Disharoon Park. But wins today and potentially a win tomorrow, and Virginia is right in the thick of the top of the conference. After scuffling a bit out of the gates, Virginia can still position themselves well heading to Durham for the newly formatted ACC tournament. Let's take a look at our pitching matchup today. We mentioned Bradley Hodges on the other side. Brady Jones, the junior right-hander for Georgia Tech, will get the ball today. Jones, 4-1, 39 2/3 innings of work this year for the Jackets. And Danny Hall giving him the ball. And speaking of Danny Hall, the legendary coach for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, his final season at what they call the Flats here for Georgia Tech baseball. His first season was back in 1994. That legendary team with Nomar Garciaparra that made it to Omaha. Haven't been back since, but a lot of wins since then. And Danny Hall, one of the legends in ACC baseball. Two legends facing off today as they meet at home plate. Brian O'Connor, 22 years as the head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers, facing off against one of the few coaches in the league with more career victories than him. Danny Hall, in his 38th season coaching, his 32nd at Georgia Tech. And Virginia is trying to keep this skid for Georgia Tech going as well. Georgia Tech now losers of 6 in a row after being swept last weekend by the Miami Hurricanes. And around that series, a loss to Georgia in Truist Park just a few days ago on April 15th. That was a 5-2 loss to the Bulldogs. Bulldogs, a top 5 team, so no shame in that loss. They also fell 1-0 on the road at Auburn. Again, no shame in losing to a top 25 SEC opponent, but it has caused a bit of a stumbling down the stretch here for Georgia Tech. And after last night's game, they have lost the last 6 on their schedule. So they're looking for a bounce back, as 5 of those 6 losses have taken place away from this ballpark. Returning home, but Virginia has their sights set on a series victory today. Just about set for the national anthem here at Russ Chandler Stadium. So we'll pause for just a second and listen in to the honoring of America with the playing of the national anthem here. And we'll be back setting your starting lineups for Virginia and Georgia Tech, Game 2 from Russ Chandler Stadium in Atlanta in just a moment. But both teams have lined up in front of their respective dugouts. Umpires have taken their place behind home plate. The home team stepping out as well. And we're just about set to listen in.
Each other as equals and treating each other with respect and dignity at all times, recognizing that our differences don't divide us, but they make us stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor this great nation and those that continue to serve and protect her with the playing of our national anthem.
And let's get ready to play ball here from Atlanta between Virginia and Georgia Tech. Cavaliers going for the series victory. Georgia Tech trying to avoid losing their 2nd straight ACC series and their 7th straight ball game. Let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineups. We've gone through the pitchers. Brady Jones for the home team, Georgia Tech. He'll be facing off against this Cavalier lineup today. Same lineup as Friday's game. Let's run through it. Aiden Teal, the center fielder, will be leading off once again. Hit his 6th home run of the season yesterday for the Hoos, and he will set the tone at the top of the order once again. Eric Becker, the shortstop, 2 RBIs. He bats 2nd. Henry Ford in right field will bat 3rd. Chris Arroyo, first baseman today, batting cleanup. Henry Godbout, a 3-run bomb yesterday from Virginia's 2nd baseman, bats 5th once again. Jacob Ferentz, the catcher, batting 6th. Harrison Didoway, DH once again, and batting 7th. James Nunnally is in left field today. Hit his first career home run in last night's game. He'll bat 8th, followed by Luke Hansen in the 9th spot for Virginia. And as I mentioned, they'll be going up against Brady Jones as the Jackets have taken the mound. Jones, a Georgia State transfer, didn't have to go too far, but moving up a level into the ACC, but he's handled himself well. A 4-1 record this season in 10 starts. Let's look at the Jackets now as they go through their infield warm-ups. A couple of tweaks from Danny Hall, the 32nd-year head coach for the Jackets. Kyle Lodes will lead off once again. Hit a home run yesterday, but Cavaliers were able to avoid too much damage, but Lodi's 14 home runs, 47 RBIs leads the team in each of those departments. He'll be followed by the aforementioned first-team All-American Drew Burris, the center fielder, batting second once again. Alex Hernandez, maybe in line for 2025 ACC Freshman of the Year with the season he's putting together. He'll bat third, the second baseman today for the Jackets. Caleb Daniel, batting cleanup, he'll be in left field. Vaughn Lackey, the catcher, once again bats fifth. Carson Kearse, a third baseman, he'll bat sixth. And then an intriguing insert into the lineup today because it's the return of Kent Schmidt. He'll be DHing. Saw him last night, and that was his first appearance since March 18th against Gardner Webb. Had a foot issue officially from Georgia Tech, and so he's worked his way back into the starting lineup today, handling the bat as a DH. John Giesler, the first baseman, he'll bat eighth, followed by Connor Schaus, the right fielder, and that is the 9 for Georgia Tech. Aiden Teal has stepped into the left-handed batter's box here, and we're just about set to begin this ball game. Virginia and Georgia Tech from Russ Chandler Stadium here in Atlanta, Georgia. Cavaliers going for the series victory here this afternoon. Teal, a 2-run home run yesterday. First pitch swinging here, but he hits it into the shift. And a bit of a high throw from Alex Hernandez deep in the hole at second base. He was in shallow right, fielded it on one hop, and what would have been a single against the standard infield is instead turned into a 4-3 ground out on the first pitch of this game. Teal had a home run taken away in his first at bat on the first pitch yesterday. This time, maybe just a hit, Rob, but it's one away for Jones. That one is outside to Eric Becker. Cavaliers stacking the lineup with a couple of lefties at the top, but really just two guys that have found ways to get on base this season. Aiden Teal at 443 and Becker now at 453. Becker also second on the team with 35 RBIs. He takes down Lowe. Count is 2-0. Mentioned Jones, the transfer in from Georgia State, as he gets a new baseball here from the home plate umpire. Made 17 appearances last year with just one start. Becker hits this one high in the air, out to right field, and he's going to get the Hoos going with a solo home run, his 6th of the year. Hoos continue to slug here in Atlanta, and Eric Becker has put the Cavaliers on top 1-0. Well, this has become a launching pad for the Cavaliers bats this weekend. 3 home runs in 1 inning yesterday. Eric Becker goes yard here in the top of the first, and that is a great way to get the juices flowing for the Cavalier offense today. Eric Becker, 6th home run, 36th RBI. There's a ground ball off the bat of Henry Ford. Throw across the diamond from the shortstop. Kyle Lodi's is in time. So Virginia going up very aggressively here against the right-hander Brady Jones. Becker's paid off with a solo home run. Cavaliers have the lead, but 2 groundouts otherwise. And Jones is looking to get back to the dugout and hope his offense can pick him back up after he has surrendered the lead here in the first inning. That's a low and outside fastball coming in at 95. Jones showing good stuff here. But Arroyo will just take patient hitter at the plate here. Chris Arroyo, a single yesterday for the Hoos. That's a pitch that bounced off the shin guard of Vaughn Lackey and rolls all the way past the Virginia dugout. Arroyo, the team leader in home runs and RBIs, although Eric Becker now chasing at his heels for that RBI leader mantle. Here's the 2-0. And that's a called strike. So Eric Becker got in the same count, 2-0, before taking one out to right. Arroyo didn't quite like that pitch enough to offer at it. He'll be patient and instead work a 2-1 count. Now a hitter's count even better at 3-1 after that pitch is in the dirt low and inside. Chris Arroyo from Coral Springs, Florida, but originally a native of Puerto Rico, where the Cavaliers began their 2025 baseball season down in Ponce. started his career for Florida. Swings at that next pitch. The 3-1 fastball, center cut, but fouls it away. It's now full. Transferred to the junior college ranks at Pasco Hernando State last season. He was a first-team junior college All-American. And now in Charlottesville for his third year of college baseball. 3-2, and he takes outside. He'll be glad to draw the walk here and continue the inning here to get a base runner with 2 away.
Second baseman number 2, Henry Godbout.
Walks were an issue for both sides last night as Virginia drew 6. Georgia Tech also drew 6. Also a few hit by pitches mixed in there as well from either side. So we'll see if the emphasis is on limiting free base runners today. Now Henry Godbout will bat. Hit his his 5th home run of the season yesterday. A 3-run blast to left. Part of that 3-home run inning in which the Cavaliers scored 7 runs and jumped out to a lead they would not give up. 0-1, Arroyo with his lead off of first. Godbout goes the opposite way. A little bloop into right, and this is going to fall easily for a base hit. Arroyo's going to be able to go first to third because it only landed about 20 or 30 feet behind first base. So it was a long run for Connor Schaus and an even longer one for Alex Hernandez. It looked like trying to get back to that one. Hit him where they ain't. Henry Godbout's got a single, and Virginia's got runners at first and third here with 2 outs, looking to potentially add to their 1-0 lead after Henry Godbout's single and Virginia's second hit of this first inning. Now it'll be Jacob Ferentz, the catcher for the Cavaliers, coming up. Every Cavalier yesterday had a hit that was in the starting lineup, including Jacob Ferentz. A single yesterday for him, 1 here, and he could drive in a run from third base. Gets a center cut pitch, but a little bit on the outside corner, it looked like. Might have been tailing back in from Jones there. 0-1. Taking a look at Brady Jones on the season, 10 starts, a 4.54 ERA in 39 2/3 innings. Ferentz got another fastball that he liked, but could only get a piece. He's behind 0-2 here. Godbout over at first with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Wonder if we'll see him looking to get going early. A lot of room on the right side of the infield. If Ferentz can just push a ground ball that way, it'll get through and score the run. We'll see what the approach is here with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Godbout is going. Pitch is high. Godbout caught between first and second. Now Arroyo's caught between second and third because Vaughn Lackey faked the throw down to second. They get Arroyo in the rundown trying to come home, and the base running error ends the inning. So Virginia trying to make something happen on the bases, but Georgia Tech not going to fall for it. Cavaliers do get on the board, though, with Eric Becker's 6th home run of the season, a solo shot, has made it 1-0 Hoos. And we'll be back from Russ Chandler Stadium in just a moment. This is Virginia Baseball. Cavaliers off to an early 1-0 lead after the top of the first inning, but Georgia Tech gets their first crack against Bradley Hodges, the left-handed starter for Virginia, the junior out of Fleming Island, Florida. Bradley Hodges making his first career ACC start. Coming off a start against VCU on April 8th, in which he posted a career-best 5 innings with 7 strikeouts and held the Rams scoreless. Big part of that 13-0 win for the Cavaliers at the Diamond in Richmond. Kyle Lodies leading off today, and his first pitch is a ground ball down the third base line, and that is going to be extra bases. Nunnally's over to it in the corner, but just like that, Georgia Tech has a runner in scoring position, and wouldn't you know it, it's another 2-bagger. Georgia Tech on the season, 113 doubles on the year coming into today. Make that 114 now, leading the nation in that statistic. So Kyle Lodies checking in with double number 18. Would you believe it? Second on the team, behind only the man in the right-handed batter's box now, Drew Burress. Burress, the active player with the highest slugging percentage in their career. That's a ball in the dirt, and that gets away from Ferentz and rolls all the way behind third base. Hodges covers home, so no play at the plate, but that is a wild pitch that allows Lodies to go second to third, and just like that, 2 pitches into this ball game, and Georgia Tech is threatening to tie the game here in the bottom of the first inning. Georgia Tech had a response for Virginia's early offense yesterday before Virginia had a response of their own. But right now, you've got Drew Burress, second on the team with 46 RBIs, batting with a runner at third and a chance to tie the game with nobody out. But he pops it straight up on the infield. Luke Hansen will call for it. Now Eric Becker will call for it. Everybody defers to the shortstop if he feels like he's got a beat on it. Hodges actually looked like he was positioned to maybe catch that one if nobody else was going to come in. Hansen called him off. Becker called him off, and that is a big out there from Hodges. You get Drew Burress to pop out on the infield with a runner at third. Still 1 out, meaning anything on the ground or in the air to the outfield will still get it done, but you made it through maybe the toughest test in the lineup, but you're not clear yet because you're facing Alex Hernandez on the midseason award watch list as he takes that pitch that's in the dirt, gets away from Ferentz. He's quick over to it though. Lodies didn't feel confident enough to run and break for the plate. It's 1-0, but right now Hodges has got to get a better grip on that breaking ball. It looks like it's bouncing well in front of home plate, and it's giving Ferentz some fits with that spin and the deflections. So the count is 1-0 to Alex Hernandez. Midseason award watch list for the John Olerud two-way player of the year. A pitcher and an infielder. Checked his swing. Home plate umpire makes the call. Says that was a strike on the swing. 1-1. I think Hernandez was maybe hoping he would get an appeal, but the home plate umpire didn't feel like there was need for one. And his call on balls and strikes is the final one. 1-1 now. Hodges pitching out of the stretch, kicks, deals. Another one in the dirt, but a good block by Ferentz. The home plate umpire today is Doug Vines. John Mary is at first base. Damian Beal at second. Jeff Gosney is at third base. That's the crew today here at Russ Chandler Stadium. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Alex Hernandez, the second baseman for Georgia Tech, and batting third, batting .344 this season. Ground ball hit to Hansen, pops out of his glove, but the spinning throw to first is still in time and probably didn't change the result of the play too much. Might have thought about looking home if he was able to field that one cleanly, but first inning, you'll trade an out for a run. Bases are now empty, but the game is tied at 1. RBI ground out from Alex Hernandez. And Uno's on the scoreboard here now in the first inning. That'll bring up Caleb Daniel. 2 outs now, bases empty Virginia playing him to pull to the right side. Good looking pitch, but just a bit outside. Daniel, freshman, part of the number 5 recruiting class coming in for Georgia Tech this year out of Cartersville, Georgia. Facing the left-hander Hodges here. 1-0. Breaking ball, and that's a called strike. Looked like it was maybe a little high, but dropped down enough that Doug Vines said yes, that found the zone. So each side with 1 run. Georgia Tech just 1 hit in the inning, but that was a double that got it going. And then the RBI ground out scores Lodi's. That's a pitch low. 91 miles an hour. That's where Hodges' fastball is going to sit for the most part. It'll be interesting to see if Hodges maybe needs a little bit of time to work himself into this game. He hasn't pitched in over 2 weeks in game action. 2-1. Daniel gets a piece, but can only foul it back to the net. You've got Vaughn Lackey on deck for Georgia Tech, the catcher. As Daniel digs back in. Toes almost on the white chalk near home plate. As he gets up on the plate, 2-2. And that's part of the reason why. On a pitch that looked like it was headed for the outside corner, he looks at it and says, that's too far off the plate for me to offer at it even with 2 strikes. 3-2 now, and a payoff pitch coming. Hodges trying to make it just a 1-run first inning here. And he gets a pop-up to left field. Should stay in play, and Nunnally is over near the line to make the catch for out number 3. A run scored by the home team, though, to match Virginia's 1 in the top half of the first. And we're square at 1 after 1. RBI from Alex Hernandez in that inning. And we'll come back. Top of the second inning here at Russ Chandler Stadium in Atlanta.
Our customers are counting on us to meet their energy needs, and our lightweighters are committed to be there for you, rain or shine. Learn more at georgiapower.com/lightweather. Fans, be sure to share your game day photos all season long. You can scan the QR code or go to Post Up on the Georgia Tech app to submit your photos for our video board. Leading off catcher number 28, Jacob Ferris.
Each side puts up a run in the first inning. Virginia with a solo home run. Georgia Tech with an RBI ground out, and we're square at 1 after 1. There's a pitch to Jacob Ferentz, who was in the box when the inning ended, but Chris Arroyo was caught stealing, trying to take home after Godbout took off from first. It's 1-0. Ferentz goes after the next one, but can only foul it back. You got Ferentz, Didawick, and Nunnally due up here for the Cavaliers. Bottom of the order, pretty productive yesterday for the Cavaliers between Didawick, Nunnally, and Hansen. Here's the 1-1 now to Ferentz. That one's outside, 2-1. Ferentz yesterday 1 for 4, but Didawick, Nunnally, Hansen, all with multiple hits and extra base hits. Ferentz pops this one up high in the air to shallow right. In fact, it might not even leave the infield. Couple of steps on the right field grass, and it's Hernandez making a long run over because they did have Ferentz shifted to pull, excuse me, and that is out number 1 for Virginia's backstop there. 1 out here, top of the second inning, and it'll bring up Harrison Didowick, who got off to a good start yesterday in his first at bat, a triple into the right field corner. His first of the season. This one is fouled away. Didowick also with a single that came late in the 8th, but walked and scored a run, scored 2 runs in total, and that triple drove in a run as well. Took a big hack at that one, but came up empty, deflected off of some part of Von Lackey's equipment, it looked like, and ricocheted over towards the right field side. So it's 0-2 here to Harrison Didowick with Nunnally on deck. Virginia will try to retake the lead here in the top half of the second after they got on the board with a solo home run. Eric Becker. Didowick takes high. It's 1-2. Harrison Didowick on the season batting 189 now. Trying to pull that average up and get going with the stick, but takes a pitch that catches the outside corner, and it's a called strike 3. That's a great pitch there from Brady Jones. Hitter feels like it's a little too far off the plate, but home plate umpire gives him the call, and that will make it 2 up, 2 down for Brady Jones. A transfer in from Georgia State, as I mentioned, so didn't have to go too far. He's originally from Decatur, Georgia. And now it's James Nunnally, who had himself a night last night. 4 for 4, James Nunnally was, with 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored, and the exclamation point on it all, his first career home run. 1-0, make it 2-0. Takes that one outside. Jones showing good stuff with that 95-mile-an-hour heater. Hasn't been able to locate it in this at-bat, though. And it's 2-0, 2 outs. Nunnally will just try to keep the inning going here. They couldn't get him out yesterday. In fact, even drew an intentional walk in there as well. Lines this one through the right side and stay hot, Jimmy. That is a single that rolls to the right fielder, Schaus. James Nunnally, 5 hits and 5 official at-bats now in this series. And I don't think anybody's seeing the ball as well as him. He's aboard with 2 outs now. Can the Cavaliers muster any sort of 2-out rally? And again, bottom of the order, keeping things moving with Nunnally in the 8th spot. Now the number 9 hitter, Luke Hansen, gets his first AB of the afternoon. 3rd hit of the day for Virginia. That single from Nunnally. Hansen's first pitch is a fastball, outer edge, but away, and ball 1. Hansen last night got in on the hit parade for the Cavaliers. A double and a single with 2 runs scored, also a sacrifice bunt to help the Cavaliers get a run home. That pitch in the dirt, and Hansen works a 2-0 count. 2 home runs, 17 RBIs for Hansen this season. One of those 2 was just a few days ago at the Dish when the Hoos took on JMU in the midweek. 2 midweek games for Virginia on Tuesday and Wednesday. That'll be the case again this week after this weekend series. 2-0 here to Hansen. Jammed inside, got the bat to it, fouls it back off the handle, and it's 2-1 now. Nunnally over at first base. 4 of 6 stealing bases, a right-hander on the mound, but good velocity, so maybe not the guy you want to run on with that fastball. 2-1. Hansen, speaking of, a little late to it, 94 miles an hour. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Would expect Nunnally to try and get in motion here, though. See if the Cavaliers can get anything going here. James Nunnally's 5th hit of the series. Puts a runner at first with 2 outs. 2-2. Hansen hits one in the air to right. Coming on is Schaus, and he will make the catch for out number 3. So Virginia gets a base runner, but nothing else. 1 more hit, but we're still tied at 1 here in Atlanta. Virginia and Georgia Tech, Cavaliers going for the series victory. Bottom of the second when we come back.
Tickets are still available at ramblingrec.com/tickets. And Yellow Jacket fans, it's time for the first watch and fill your plate seat upgrade. Congratulations to Dennis and Tayshawn, your today's winners. Please enjoy your upgrade seats behind your plate. First watch, your neighborhood spot for your breakfast, brunch, and lunch favorites. Always made to order with the freshest ingredients, so go ahead and brunch better only at First Watch.
Bradley Hodges, first inning, surrendered a run, but only needed 13 pitches and only gave up 1 hit. So, trying to make it a scoreless second and match his opponent Jones on the mound. It'll be Vaughn Lackey, Carson Kearse, and Kent Schmidt, 5, 6, 7, 2 up in the batting order for Georgia Tech. Hodges facing Lackey here. First pitch is a called strike. Ferentz framing that one up nicely on the outside corner. Lackey, a mainstay behind the plate this season for the Jackets, starting every game this year. That one's high. Coming at him with the fastball there, challenging him top of the zone, but ultimately couldn't place it. 1-1. Hodges only 7 walks in now 16 1/3 innings on the season. Compare that to his 24 strikeouts, and he gets Lackey, taking him a couple of inches off the plate, it looks like, and he asked the home plate umpire, I think, if that would be called a strike had he not swung. He tipped it into the catcher's mitt, and it's 1-2. Kyle Lodies led the inning off in the first with a double. Can Hodges get the leadoff hitter here? He does. That is a swinging miss at the third strike. A breaking ball from Hodge.
Third baseman, number 3, Carson Kearse.
Bradley Hodges, 25 strikeouts, quarter of a century on the season. Carson Kearse now, third baseman. He had a solo home run late last night, and that late push by the Jackets in the ninth. There's another one of those breaking balls, but Hodges misses inside this time. It's 1-0. So that was the pitch that Hodges was trying to feel out in that first inning. Had a couple of pitches that were in the dirt, low, and actually you think back to that wild pitch, unfortunately, helped Georgia Tech get that run home. But in the past now, can only look forward. This one hit in the air to right, but it's going to tail towards the Cavalier bullpen. Fan tried to make a catch and instead batted it back out into the field of play, but a Virginia staffer, looks like that's Hayden Rue, student manager down in the Virginia bullpen, grabbing that one. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Kearse, the third baseman of Georgia Tech this season, and he swings and misses at that one. Kearse, a sophomore, batting .363, really the top 6 in the order for Georgia Tech. Everyday players who are raking, all batting above 300. 1-2, but it doesn't matter to Hodges. That's a swing and a miss. Pitch was in the dirt, so they'll have to throw to first. But back-to-back Ks here in the second inning for Bradley Hodges, his first 2 of the day. 2 up, 2 down. and looking to settle in here in the second. But he'll have to face the Georgia Tech leader in batting average. That would be Kent Schmidt. Now, the caveat there, Schmidt is making his first appearance since March 18th, or I should say his first start. Made an appearance in last night's game, coming in to pinch hit late. Takes a called strike there, but last night delivered a pinch hit RBI double, and that got the Georgia Tech fans to their feet. They've been waiting for Schmidt to come back into the lineup. He finally returns today. Good looking fastball, but just misses outside. Kent Schmidt, the DH, batting .422 with 2 home runs, 27 RBIs, but again, hasn't played in more than a month. 1-1. And he checks his swing, but he kept the bat head back. Very controlled approach at the plate for Schmidt. Sort of gliding through his motions before waiting to uncork with all that torque on the power. Here's the 2-1 now. And there you see it again. He sort of drops down to one knee slowly as the pitch comes in if he's not going to swing there, and it's 3-1. Schmidt, 35 hits this season for the Jackets. And I say the top 6 are formidable. With Schmidt back in the lineup today, that makes it the top 7 as well. 3-1. Bouncer towards second. Godbout to it. Hodges has got to cover first, but he's there in plenty of time to field the throw as Arroyo drifted over to maybe field that one as well, but that is fundamental baseball by the Cavaliers. 4-1 to first, and the inning is over. It's a 1-2-3 second for Bradley Hodges, and we'll pick things back up in the top of the third here in Atlanta.
Center fielder number 7, Aiden Teal.
Aiden Teal leading off for the Cavaliers here in the top half of the third. First time through the order, Cavaliers 1 run on 3 hits against Brady Jones. That's a ball inside to Teal. We'll see what the Cavaliers have in store the second time through. This is really when they got to Tate McKee yesterday. That's a called strike. Second and third time through the order. And they got to the first few relievers for Georgia Tech as well. 1-1 here, Jones to Teal. Teal hits it in the air towards left. At the base of the scoreboard, but just in front of the warning track. It's the left fielder, Caleb Daniel, making the catch. Caleb Daniel, I'm sure not a friend of Aiden Teal this weekend after Daniel robbed Teal of a solo home run to begin yesterday's game. But that one, a little more regular effort. But that was a tremendous catch. Daniel leaping up at the wall and snow coning it, pulling it back into the field of play. We've seen Aiden Teal make a few great grabs, but that was one against him, and I'm sure he didn't appreciate it too much. 1-0 here to Eric Becker. Got the Cavaliers on the board in that first inning. his 6th home run of the season, driven out to right field. Goes the opposite way here, sounding like he got that one off the end of the bat. It's a grounder, but to the left of third base. Bowling past Kevin McMullen down there at third for the Cavaliers. Has been with Brian O'Connor the whole time that the skipper has been with the Cavaliers, along with athletic trainer Brian McGuire. Ball came out into the field of play, a momentary pause. It's 1-1 to Becker. Comes inside and might have caught the home plate umpire Doug Vines on the hand there. It looked like shaking things off, and takes a minute, but that's a risk you take. Somehow those foul balls always seem to find the unprotected parts of you. 2-1 here to Becker, hitter's count. And that one's way outside. You can tell Jones, while it's maybe in the back of his mind, you better be careful giving Becker a pitch to hit in this count. 3-1. And he drives this one in the air to center, but that's the deepest part of the ballpark, and it's well hit, but Drew Burris has plenty of space out there roaming in center for the Jackets. That makes it 2 flyouts, 1 to left, 1 to center here in the 3rd inning, and now it seems like Brady Jones has really settled in. He's retired 5 of the last 6 batters he's faced, and now faces Henry Ford, who grounded out in his first AB. 2 outs, top of the 3rd, and Ford hits this one sky high. Drifting over near the Virginia dugout in foul territory, it's John Giesler making the catch and bringing the inning to a close. 3 up, 3 down at the top of the order. Brady Jones motoring through this one now, and that is out number 3. Inning over, and Virginia and Georgia Tech still tied at 1.
Jacket fans, for today's Hunt Rodeo at Russ Chandler, it's officially time for the rodeo race. Turn your attention to the third base side where Joe and Tommy are going to race at the finish line while riding their horses. All right, Joe, Tommy, are you ready? Set, go! Looks like Joe's pony is going first. It looks like he is going to be the winner. Congratulations, you got yourself a Georgia Tech prize pack. Yeehaw!
Bottom of the 3rd inning here from Russ Chandler Stadium in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. Cavaliers and Yellow Jackets tied at 1. Hodges has only needed 13 pitches to get through each of the first 2 innings. He's sitting at 26, facing John Giesler to lead off this 3rd inning. The senior from Marietta, Georgia, takes outside to begin the AB 1-0. 8-9-1 goes Giesler, Schaus, Lodies for the Jackets here. Check swing, but a called strike from Doug Vines, and I believe that was in the zone, not on the swing. 1-1. Hodges delivering the 90-mile-an-hour fastball there. Giesler batting .250 this season, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. Pops this one up behind him, and that makes it 1-2. Giesler began his career for Georgia Tech back in 2020. He's a senior getting his master's in real estate development. Now in his technically 6th season of college baseball. Started 41 games last year. That was fouled away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 10 home runs, 43 RBIs. 17 doubles led the team in that number. 1 and 2 off the end of the bat, and it's fielded by Hodges as it rolled up over the mound. Just sort of threw his hands at that one and got pretty good contact on it. But Hodges, quick reaction to field that one, as it might have been trouble for Becker had it gotten past him, and now Bradley Hodges has retired the last 7 batters. And he's been fielding his position well to boot. Covered the base to end the inning in the second, and then gets the grounder there to first. Now Connor Schaus batting. Starts him with that breaking ball. Still feels like he's feeling it out a little bit in terms of locating it successfully, but fortunately for him, it hasn't really cost him much. Aside from the leadoff double, Georgia Tech has just 1 hit. That one misses, and starts the count 2-0. Schaus, a freshman from Jasper, Georgia. Right fielder, making just his 5th start. 2-0 as Hodges delivers. And he can't find the zone with that pitch. It's been 3 straight breaking balls to begin this at bat. All of them have missed the zone. And with Kyle Lodice on deck, walking the number 9 hitter does not sound too appealing to the Cavaliers. And he does get a strike, comes back with the fastball. Schaus last night was 1 for 3, 2 runs, 1 RBI, drew 1 walk, also struck out twice. Batting now on the season at an even 250. That pitch outside, he is going to draw the walk here. Hodges never really in the zone in that at bat. And 1 out, runner at first. That breaks that streak of 7 in a row retired. So we've gone through the first time through the order for Hodges. He allowed 1 double, nothing else, but 1 run scoring, 1 walk as well. Only the 8th walk of the season for Bradley Hodges, but it gets a runner at first for the Jackets offense, and 2 dangerous hitters due up in Lodice and Burris. Lodice got things started with that double down the third base line his first time up. He was aggressive going up after the first pitch. And a throw over. Lots of boos coming from Georgia Tech on those throws over. Haven't had a runner at first for Hodges yet, so imagine we'll see the game plan in terms of holding runners on here for the Cavaliers. With Schaus over at first base. Hodges delivers that breaking ball again, but he can't find the zone with it. Seems like he's beginning these at-bats to these right-handed hitters with the breaking stuff, but this inning has had a little trouble locating it. Schaus has 1 stolen base on the season, but again, only 5 starts and 15 games played. He's only had 16 official at-bats coming into today, so really not a ton of time on base to get those steals up. It's 1-0, and I gotta say, if these Georgia Tech fans are getting impatient now, we still got a lot of baseball ahead of us. As Hodges glances over to first, he's going to go there again. One and 0 still to Lodice. Drew Burris on deck for Georgia Tech. Virginia has the only lead today. They led 1-0 after the top of the first. This is hit in the air towards right. Is it going to get out of play? Looks like it will, as Ford gave chase, but quickly realized he was going to run out of room. And he tosses it to a lucky young fan in the mob over there, waiting for that souvenir. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike to Lodice. His double, last time up, 18th on the year. That one comes inside to him this time as Hodges took a long look over, and in the midst of his windup, changes that look from first back to home, and it's 2-1 now. Obviously a dangerous count here to Lodi's, maybe best all-around hitter in the lineup for Georgia Tech. Hits it in the air, but got under it. It's in shallow left field. Becker is backpedaling and still going back. Has to reach up at the last second to make sure it doesn't get over his head, but he does make the grab. An adventure there for Eric Becker, but he was the only one with a real shot at it because the outfielders were playing no doubles with a runner at first, and so it was Becker's ball all the way. He makes the catch, though. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning now. Drew Burris is the batter. Burris popped out to shortstop his first time up. Hodges is going to give him a fastball, but it's off the edge. Burris still looking for his first hit of the series. Was 0 for 3 yesterday, but did draw a walk and scored a run. Leads the team with 19 doubles on the year, and coming into the series led him with 46 RBIs. Kyle Lodi's has overtaken him since, though. There's a breaking ball in for a called strike as Hodges finally gets the release spin working in conjunction there to find the zone. 1-1. Hodges trying to work around the walk to Schaus, who stands over at first base. He's got 2 outs, but that doesn't mean he's through it yet. This is a grounder towards third. Hansen's got it on 1 hop. He'll throw to second where Godbout is covering, and Hodges does indeed get past that walk to Schaus and gets Lodi's to pop out, Burris to ground out, and the inning is over. So Bradley Hodges, 2 scoreless innings now and only 1 run allowed in 3 innings through 3. Our score, Virginia 1, Georgia Tech 1. Headed to the 4th here from Atlanta. Three innings in the books, your 3-inning totals. Virginia, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. Georgia Tech, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. Top of the 4th, Chris Arroyo takes a breaking ball. Called strike from Brady Jones, who has really settled into this one. Retired the top 3 batters in the order in a row in the 3rd. And Arroyo's way out in front of that breaking ball, and it's 0-2. 6 of the last 7 retired by Jones, and 4 in a row. 0-2. Arroyo goes the other way in the air and deflects off of Daniel's leg. Arroyo's going to hustle in. He will stand up at second base. That was an odd-looking play there. Daniel had a read on it, went into a dive, but the ball missed his glove and ricocheted up in the air. I don't know if it hit his knee or his thigh. He seems like he's okay, but that's a bad break for Georgia Tech. But Arroyo is standing at second base with a double. Not very often you'll see Arroyo go the opposite way, and that was indicated by the shift from Georgia Tech, and Daniel had to run in on that one, but well hit And now Arroyo gets the Who's going here in the fourth. Looks like it was off that arm, and I guess coming forward, just sort of pushed the ball away from him. That one ricocheted about 10 or 15 feet up in the air. Odd play there, but it helps Virginia. Henry Godbout takes the first pitch, ball 93 miles an hour. 1 ball, no strikes. Godbout, runner in scoring position. Breaking ball taken low and away. First time up, Henry Godbout singled to right. That's Arroyo's first hit of the day, and second time he's reached base. And he's standing in scoring position now for Godbout. 2-0. That's a called strike. I think Godbout thought it was a little low, but Vines has been pretty consistent there with that strike call today. It's 2-1 now. Godbout on the year, 30 RBIs. Drives this one to left, pulled it, foul. It was a liner, and everybody in the stadium here for Georgia Tech holding their breath to see if it was going to land in fair territory, but just a little out in front of it there, and now it's 2-2. Godbout batting .308 with runners in scoring position this season. At the very least, hoping to get the base runner over. 2-2. He puts the bat to it, and it hit him while he was in the box, so it's foul. Jones is sitting now at 49 pitches, so this next will take him to 50. Both starters today looking pretty sharp, but Virginia, a chance here with a runner at second and nobody out in the top of the fourth. And he gets Godbout swinging. Wow, very rare sight there. Henry Godbout had only struck out 12 times in 142 at-bats this season. That's number 13. Second strikeout for Jones on the mound today. Now it's up to Jacob Ferentz. That's Cavaliers gonna need to produce here. They want to retake the lead, and Jacob Ferentz in the air, left field, but Drew Burris makes a leaping catch at the wall. And Arroyo's gonna tag from second to third. Looks like Ferentz got a hold of that one, but the way Burris was tracking it, you knew he was gonna have a shot. And about halfway up the wall, leaps up to make the grab for out number 2. Heads up base running by Arroyo, though, to take third. And now he'll surely score on any base hits, but you stand at third base, ground ball in the infield, you never know what could happen. As Harrison Didowick will try to deliver here with 2 outs in the fourth. Breaking ball doesn't quite find the zone, 1-0. Didowick watching that one all the way. A triple for Didowick yesterday. He hit it into the right field corner, his first of the season. He would later score that inning. 2 runs scored yesterday. This is a ground ball back up the middle, charging in on it. Lodies has it, and the throw to first is in time for the out. Cavaliers get a leadoff double, but can't do anything with it, unfortunately. Chris Arroyo stranded at third base, and we exit the top of the fourth inning still tied at 1. It's a pitcher's duel today after a slugfest yesterday. Coming back, bottom of the fourth inning, you're listening to Virginia Baseball.
It's your chance to be the DJ at today's game. You can pull out your camera and scan the QR code up on the video board. So vote for today's edition of Be the DJ presented by EGP Document Solutions. Today's songs are Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. And Round Here by Florida Georgia Line.
some early offensive action here at Russ Chandler Stadium in the first inning, but since it's been the arms, Bradley Hodges and Brady Jones, holding each team scoreless since that first inning. Now here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Hodges working on just a one-hit outing at the moment, but Alex Hernandez leads off, and that is taken upstairs, ball one. Hodges at 43 pitches at the moment, has been efficient, working quickly despite surrendering that one run in the first inning. 1-0 here to Hernandez. Goes down after that one and fouls it away. Hernandez, the lone RBI for the Jackets today. That was a ground out to third base back in that first inning to score Kyle Lodis. This inning it'll be Hernandez, Daniel, and Lackey all batting for Georgia Tech. 1-1, and that one is spiked. May not have even made it to the dirt that time as Hodges loses that release point. 2 balls, 1 strike. Around the zone here lately for Hodges. He walked his first batter last inning, but nothing came of it. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hernandez. Grounder out towards short. Becker's got it. The throw to Arroyo is on target and in time for out number 1. I think ground balls are the name of the game here this weekend. We've seen a lot of deep fly balls and a lot of gone fly balls here so far through about a game and a half in Atlanta. Caleb Daniel, and fans have some choreography for his walk-up music. Now stands in the left-handed batter's box, takes a breaking ball high, 1-0. Longest outing this season for Bradley Hodges, 5 innings against VCU, threw 74 pitches in that one. 48 at the moment. There's a strike with the fastball. Had been slowly building his endurance back up. Hadn't pitched in a game since February 17th of 2024 before March 11th of this season. There's a good-looking curveball that drops in for a called strike 2. Made his first start of 25 against Maryland in Fredericksburg. He pitched 2 innings in the Cavaliers' 7-6 victory in that one, and has slowly built up to that 5-inning appearance against the Rams. That one's high, check swing, but Daniel didn't offer at it. Despite Ferentz's appeal down to third base, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. You got Vaughn Lackey on deck as Virginia's infield shifted to the right. 2-2. Good-looking breaking ball is a called strike 3. That's number 3 for Hodges, his first backwards K in the scorebook. And that's now 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th.
Now batting, number 25, Vaughn Lackey.
Vaughn Lackey. Number 25 coming to the plate. His first time up. He struck out swinging. We'll see if Hodges has a plan of attack against him here. If he did, he didn't execute the first pitch. It's in the dirt. Bounces in to Ferentz, who's been right there with that chest protector, keeping things close on those pitches low. Hodges gets that sign, checks the pitch comm on his glove hand, and will deal. 1-0. Pitch low again. Missing down with that fastball this inning, seemingly. And falls behind Vaughn Lackey here at 2-0. Carson Kearse on deck for Georgia Tech. Jackets in the home white pinstripe uniforms today. Virginia in the road grays. There's a strike. That one looked to be at the bottom of the strike zone, but it does cross the zone. 2-1. Georgia Tech bats, since the first batter, have yet to earn a hit against Hodges. 2-1. Breaking ball downstairs, and now Hodges is going to have to come back from 3-1. First career ACC start for Bradley Hodges. Gets Lackey to swing at that one. Out of Fleming Island, Florida, St. John's Country Day High School. Missed the 2024 season after that one appearance due to that Tommy John surgery in 2023. Made 19 appearances as a true freshman, including one start. That was against the Georgetown Hoyas. March 22nd of that year, was 2-0 in 33 1/3 innings. Full count payoff pitch comes up and in to Lackey. That's going to be ball 4. So Hodges right now, despite only allowing one hit, is maybe what you might call a little erratic. He's got 2 walks. Has not walked more than 2 batters in any appearances this season. In fact, only one time in his career has he walked more than 2 batters. That was on April 26th of 2023 against Towson. Gonna have to find a way to work around it here as he did last inning, and he begins this at bat with a called strike to Carson Curse. Curse 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging as well his last time up. One of the 3 strikeout victims of Bradley Hodges. Lackey over at first base. Hodges is going to have to keep a watchful eye on him. Grounder towards third. Hanson gets around it. He'll go to first, and he's got him as Arroyo snags that one before Curse can get to the bag. Another walk, but nothing comes of it again for Hodges here in the 4th inning. Posts another 0, and this is turning in to a true pitcher's duel. Hodges twirling a gem, but Jones has matched him. It's 1-1 between Virginia and Georgia Tech. Back in just a moment.
Special thank you to the Georgia Tech Rouse Group for making McNeese Baseball Park the best playing surface in college baseball.
Four innings complete here at Russ Chandler Stadium. The pitchers have dominated. For Virginia, Bradley Hodges, 4 innings, only 1 hit allowed, 1 run. It was earned. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's thrown 60 pitches. And on the other side, Brady Jones back to the mound here for the top of the 5th as James Nunnally faces him. Gives him a first pitch fastball for a called strike. 4 innings for Jones, 1 run on 4 hits. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. That was pitch number 53 for the right-hander. Nunnally swings through the next one. And Virginia's left fielder trying to set the tone here. He's been the toughest out in the lineup this weekend. 5 hits. Was 4 for 4 last night, 1 for 1 today. A single in his first AB. 0-2, Jones. Gets him looking on a fastball called strike 3. Jones looked like he was not messing around. That at bat just gave him 3 pitches in the strike zone. Here it is, hit it. Nunnally couldn't. Nunnally talking to Aiden Teal as they're going back to the dugout. It's going to be the 3rd time through the order, but 2nd time it's been Jones domination here. He's only allowed 1 hit in the previous 8 batters, and Hansen takes a big cut, but it's fruitless there. It's 0-1. Hansen flew out to right his first time up. 4 hits for the Cavaliers. That's a breaking ball, but only 1 run to show for it at the moment. Locked in a tight one. Neither side able to string together much offense. Cavaliers hits have been scattered. 1 hit last inning, 1 hit in the second inning. The 2 in the first helped give them a lead, but it was the solo home run from Becker that scored the run, so not many run-scoring opportunities as of yet, though they did have a runner in scoring position last inning, couldn't bring him home. 2-1 here to Hansen. Trying to get on base and help out the top of the order. Hansen wisely takes downstairs on that fastball. Came in at 95, but if it's not located, Hansen's not going to swing at it. Hansen, a very deliberate approach at the plate, has drawn 22 walks, which matches anyone in the Virginia lineup today, and it's 3-1 now. Hitters count. Got a pitch he likes, but could only foul it over towards the third base dugout. Luke Hansen, the junior out of Williamsburg, .241 batting average for him this season. Has turned into the everyday third baseman after mostly platooning last season at third. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball called, strike 3. He doesn't like it, but he's back to the dugout anyway. That was a front door breaking ball, and I think Hansen didn't think it entered the front door. But it is 2 away. 2 backwards Ks for Brady Jones here in the 5th, seemingly gaining strength as this game is going along. Cavaliers cannot get to him. Teal takes a called strike inside corner. Looked like he wanted to offer at it, but maybe just a little late getting going. Gets a good look at it, but Jones pounding the strike zone here in the 5th. Teal hits this one, though, and drops it, but a diving grab made by Schaus. Looked like it was going to fall between Hernandez and Schaus, but the right fielder for the Yellow Jackets makes a great play to rob Teal of a hit that would extend this inning, and it's 3 up, 3 down for Jones, and he's looking stronger than ever out on the mound right now for Georgia Tech. But Bradley Hodges has been able to match him every step of the way, and we'll see if he can do it once again in the bottom of the 5th inning. Halfway through this one, tied at 1, Virginia baseball from Atlanta, Georgia.
For the Jackets, designated hitter, number 10, Ken Schmitz.
7, 8, 9 in the lineup. Due up for Georgia Tech here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bradley Hodges has not allowed a run since that first inning. Hasn't allowed a hit since that first inning. But we're square at 1. And Kent Schmidt, the DH, will lead off for the Jackets. First pitch is driven towards center. But Aiden Teal's going to have enough room in front of the warning track to make the grab. you can tell this crowd, a great crowd on hand, I will say, here for a Saturday afternoon game, is just waiting for something to happen. And that fly ball got him excited for a moment, but Aiden Teal, plenty of room to make that grab. One pitch, one out for Bradley Hodges. Now it's 61 pitches, pitching at the pace Brian O'Connor likes. There's a first pitch strike to John Giesler, but Brian O'Connor has mentioned in the past 15 pitches per inning if you're a starter. That's a solid pace, and that is the pace that Bradley Hodges is dead on right now. 0-1. Pitch just a few inches off the plate that time. Ferentz tried to help him out, framing it up, but it's 1-1. Giesler, his first time up, hit a ground ball back to the mound, and Bradley Hodges did a nice job of fielding his position and got him at first for the out. 1-1. There's a good-looking breaking ball. Hodges has been going to that pitch quite a bit today, especially against these right-handed hitters. And it's been hit or miss in terms of location. That one hit, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. Gets him swinging on that very breaking ball again. And Bradley Hodges has 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Well, Hodges has never gone more than 5 innings in an outing at 4 2/3 right now, and only at 65 pitches. Facing the number 9 hitter, Connor Schaus. If he makes it through this one, I'd have to imagine we'll see him back to the mound for a 6th. We'll have to wait and see, though. As Schaus hits this one in the air towards right, Ford giving chase near the line, but he runs out of room, and that barrier between the field and the Virginia bullpen there in the right field corner, there is essentially no foul ground. I mean, maybe 5 feet between the line and the wall. Ford was right over there. Looked like he was going to have a chance at making that grab potentially, but as soon as you hit the line, you basically run out of room. And so it bounces once in the Virginia bullpen and back out into the field of play. It's 0-1. Connor Schaus walked his last time up. Top of the order, and Kyle Lodi's on deck for the Yellow Jackets. Lined at Hansen, he makes the grab for out number 3. He was in his ready position and dropped to both knees and got his eyes level with that line drive, and that is a quick bottom of the 5th inning for Bradley Hodges as he gets Connor Schaus to line out to end it. Maybe his best inning yet. Hodges makes it through the order 2 full times and only took him 7 pitches that inning. After 5, we're still tied at 1, waiting for some offense. We'll see if the Cavaliers can provide it when we come back.
Shortstop number 21, Eric Becker.
Top of the 6th inning now, and we're still tied at 1. Each team scored a run in the first. It's been all arms. Jones, Hodges have posted zeros every inning since. Jones back to the mound now for the Yellow Jackets. If Virginia's going to get some offense going, you'd think it might come from this stretch. 3rd time through the order, 2-3-4. Becker leading off, takes a breaking ball, ball 1. Becker, Ford Arroyo. There's a fastball called strike to Becker. Well, Jones also pitching at an efficient pace, only at 63 pitches through 5 innings. Here's a breaking ball, but it drops low. Lackey turns the glove over to field it. Becker 1 for 2, responsible for the 1 home run and 1 run on a home run. Solo shot back in that first inning. That one's low and inside, and he's worked a hitter's count at 3-1. Hit one pretty hard to center his last time up, but that is where Drew Burris roams in the deepest part of the ballpark and made the catch. So Becker 1 for 2. That home run earlier, his 6th of the season, 3-1, and he liked that one enough to offer at it, but only gets a piece. 6 home runs now. Match Aiden Teal's 6th. His 6th came yesterday. 2nd on the team behind only Chris Arroyo. Full count here. Becker trying to set the table here in the top of the 6th. He fouls this one away. And with 2 strikes now, the Georgia Tech infield is going to shift, but always surprised when that happens with Becker at the plate. Seeing him go the opposite way a number of times. In fact, a lot of his home runs have been to center or left center. This one pulled though, but it's foul. Home run in the first was pulled to right. And just an all-around great hitter, Eric Becker, part of the U.S. Collegiate National Team over the summer as well, and a Brooks Wallace Award mid-season watch list member. Ball came back out into the field of play. Yeah, so nobody really throwing down in Virginia's bullpen. Makes me think Bradley Hodges is almost certainly going to come back out for his 6th inning of work, and why wouldn't he, with just 1 hit allowed? But can the Cavaliers give him some run support? They've been stymied by Georgia Tech's own dominant performance from Jones. 3-2 again, and Jones powers the fastball by Eric Becker this time, gets him swinging for the first out. That's a battle that Jones wins. Becker had a hitter's count, but great pitching from Jones to battle back. Strikeout number 5 for Jones on the hill, and 4 of those have come in the last 3 innings. So really has, much like Hodges, seemingly gotten stronger as the game's gone along. Can Ford get things going offensively now? He's 0 for 2 today. A ground out and a pop out. 1-0. Gets one he likes here, hits it high in the air to right, and goodbye. Another solo home run for the Cavaliers, and another 1-run lead. Henry Ford's 6th of the season makes it 2-1 Virginia. A little Oppo Taco action there from Ford, going out to right field, and the Charlottesville native puts the team from Charlottesville back on top. 2 home runs in today's contest. After 3 yesterday, Cavaliers are seeing a big baseball right now in Atlanta. Chris Arroyo now, team leading 9 home runs. That's a breaking ball, strike 1. Arroyo hit a double to left his last time up. 0-1. Ground ball, right side. He's going to beat the shift. And that's his 2nd hit of the day. Kyle Lodis was playing closer to second base with his teammate Hernandez deep in the hole, and Arroyo perfectly placed out of the reach of Lodis, and Hernandez wasn't going to get to that one either. It's a single to set the table for Henry Godbout. Godbout is 1 for 2 today. Arroyo is 2 for 2. Single and a double for Virginia's first baseman here. And we're going to see our first mound visit today. It has been total domination from the pitchers outside of that first inning. So a little surprising when the assistant coach, Matt Taylor, made his way out of the dugout after a single. Talking things through, 2 straight hits, The solo home run from Ford to give the Cavaliers the lead, and now Henry Godbout with a runner at first. Godbout's looking for a little redemption after he struck out swinging his last time up. A very tough guy to strike out is Henry Godbout. Just doesn't happen very often. Coming into the weekend series, Henry Godbout had the second lowest strikeout rate in the ACC. So the mound visit concludes here, and Godbout is awaiting the first offerings from Brady Jones. This is kind of the first time we've seen either side able to string any sort of offense together. And in fact, Cavaliers had not had hits in back-to-back at-bats until the last two. Ford's home run, now Arroyo's single. Here's Godbout, and he lines this one to left. It will drop in front of Burris, and that's going to be a one-out single following Arroyo. Puts a runner into scoring position. Make it 3 straight hits for Virginia. Maybe finally starting to see Jones a little bit better. That stuff maybe losing a little bit of its effectiveness against the Cavalier offense here. Jacob Ferentz gave one a good ride his last time up. Hit it to the base of the scoreboard before Drew Burris leapt up at the wall to make the catch. Wouldn't have gotten out, but would have been extra bases had it landed. This is a grounder. Over towards third, could be 2, 5, 4, 3, and it is in time for the double play. And just like that, Cavaliers' offensive threat is eliminated. But they do get on the board here in the top of the 6th inning. Solo home run from Henry Ford, his 6th, and that'll make it 2-1 Virginia. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Cavaliers back out in front when we come back.
All right, Tech fans, it's time to see the results of the FIFA DJ Bowl presented by EGP Document Solutions. Your winning song, Friends, No Places by Garth Brooks.
So Bradley Hodges returns to the mound. His longest outing, 5 innings. He's given the Hoos 5 innings of 1-run baseball, 1-run, 1-hit baseball. But he's facing the top of the order once again, and Kyle Lodis. And this will test the junior lefty in his first career ACC start. What a performance it's been. Facing Lodis here, and gets him swinging. Starts him with that breaking ball. And Hodges only at 67 pitches. Looks like the Cavaliers have some confidence in him because they don't have anybody throwing at the moment in the bullpen. Lodis has scored the game's lone run for the Jackets. He doubled in his first at bat. Waits for the breaking ball this time and watches it drop low for ball 1. 1-1. Kyle Lodis making the case for batting your best batter first, leading in average, home runs, and RBIs this season. It's 2-1 after that pitch misses inside. Scoreboard adjusted to show that. And here's the 2-1. decent looking fastball, but just not enough of the plate there. And now Hodges in danger of putting the leadoff runner aboard. Ideally, you'd want to avoid that after taking the 1-run lead. Here's the 3-1. Hit in the air, out towards left center. Teal at the wall, makes the catch. Leapt up, don't think it would have gotten out of here. And he takes that one from the top of the wall for out number 1. So maybe a long sigh of relief there from Hodges, as he looks out to center and says, I appreciate that one, Aiden. 1 away after Lodi's fly out. Lodis, the only hit of the game for Georgia Tech to this point. That double back in the first inning, that 2-bagger. Drew Burress got a hold of that pitch, but only fouled it back. 0-1. Drew Burress is 0 for 2. He popped out his first time up and hit into a fielder's choice that ended the inning in the 3rd. Top 3 in the order. Can Hodges make it through them? Breaking ball. Pretty good looking pitch, but dropped low enough that Ferentz had to block it, and it's 1-1. It's really been the 2-pitch mix today for Hodges, it feels like. 1-1. And goes to the fastball that time, paints the outside corner. Godbout, Becker, and Hansen all on the left side of the infield. Arroyo well off the bag on the right side, but you play the tendencies here for Drew Burress. He's a pull hitter. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Got him out in front with the breaking ball. And Hodges sets Burress down and back to the dugout. Well, it was a long fly ball out to begin this inning, but that one, Bradley Hodges still showing he's getting stronger right now. 2 outs facing Alex Hernandez. 2 ground outs for him. 1 drove home the run, and he gets a first pitch strike. Think about what Bradley Hodges is doing right now. This is a Georgia Tech offense coming into the weekend, a team batting average of .322. That one's outside and has held him to 1 hit thus far. Team slugging .542. Tied for the lead in the ACC, the team was in batting average. Not today. 1-1. Comes in on him and missed. It's 2-1 now. It's just been about as solid as you can get. Save that first batter where Kyle Lodis hit a ground ball down the third base line. It was well hit, but no hits since. And he gets Hernandez chasing on a pitch low and down. That might have been the changeup that time, coming in at 83. As Hodges trying to make one big pitch here and make sure that 2-1 lead is protected. 2-2, and can't get it close enough to the zone there. It's now a full count. Hodges has walked 2 batters today, but has struck out 5. Burress, the 5th victim, the last batter. 3-2, payoff pitch. Called, strike 3, Bradley Hodges, a scoreless 6th. Alex Hernandez doesn't like the call. That dropped right in the zone to get him looking. Bradley Hodges, 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run allowed. And he's going to wait for Aiden Teal to come off the field. Very appreciative of that catch for the first out of the inning. So the Cavaliers hold their lead. They lead 2-1 after 6 here at Russ Chandler Stadium in Atlanta. Cavaliers, the offense, looking to lock back in here. Top of the 7th inning. Hoos with a 2-1 lead in what's been a pitcher's duel this afternoon. They have 2 solo home runs that have given them 1 more run than their counterparts, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Harrison Didowick leading off. Brady Jones still back on the mound for the Yellow Jackets. Whoever loses this game is not going to be happy taking the loss if either starter factors into the decision, because both have been phenomenal. That's a breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 2. 2 mistakes, though, for Brady Jones. Perhaps 1 more than Bradley Hodges to this point. 0-2, Didowick pops it up, and looks like it'll get out of play. Vaughn Lackey took the mask off, but couldn't track it before it went out of play. And one fan made a nice grab on that one. 0-2, still to Didowick. And he lays off the back foot slider there. Didowick 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. He had 2 hits yesterday. Here's the 1-2. And he goes down after that one. Jones gets him to chase the breaking ball that time. Strike 3 for Brady Jones. That is strikeout number 6 for him. You pair that with just 1 walk, and he's looked very solid on the mound here for Georgia Tech. But Virginia still out in front. James Nunnally was retired for the first time in this series. Last time up when he struck out looking. Gets a piece of that one, but it's fouled off. You can sense the Georgia Tech fans just still waiting for something to happen. It's been a razor's margin between the two. Right now, Virginia in the lead. That one low and in the dirt. Came towards Nunnally's feet there. That's 1-1. Bouncing in, James Nunnally out of Aldie, Virginia. Had his first career home run last night. Batting an even .300 now on the season. And that's a big cut. And so big, that backswing came all the way back around and hit Vaughn Lackey. Nunnally says, didn't intend to do that. I think both players realize just a mistake there, and no harm meant. Count is 1-2. Jones, after surrendering the lead, got the big double play ball last inning, struck out Didowick, looking for a second quick out here, but misses with the breaking ball outside. 30 hits this season now for Nunnally in his first season of college baseball. 2-2. In the dirt low, working the count here. That strikeout last time up, by the way, like Godbout, Nunnally, very tough to strike out. Henry Godbout had the second lowest strikeout rate in the ACC. His teammate Nunnally has the lowest. 3-2. And he works the walk, pats his chest back towards the dugout because that was a well-earned base. Virginia will have a base runner here with 1 out. Hansen at the plate, and with such a small lead and fewer opportunities remaining, you wonder if Virginia doesn't look to play a little small ball maybe. Luke Hansen, 5 sacrifice bunts on the season. I believe if anybody were to do it, it'd be him. Nunnally's going to go. Hansen's going to hit it to right, and it'll be caught. No, it won't. It'll drop behind the right fielder, Schaus. Nunnally was on his way back to first after he took off on the pitch and now has to scramble back to second base. Boy, that one just totally missed Connor Schaus's glove. Not sure what happened there. Whether he maybe lost it in the sun at the last second or if it just misplayed it, but they're going to give Hansen a hit. I guess a ball hit in the air like that drops to the field, it's tough to say that's an error, but ultimately it will be. First and second with 1 out, and that will be all for Brady Jones. 3 times through the order. Cavaliers did tag him for 8 hits, but they were scattered, and Jones allowing 2 solo home runs, but I think he's going to get a well-earned round of applause from the Yellow Jacket faithful coming out of this one, as he gave it his all, kept the Jackets in this one at the very least, but he's going to exit with runners at first and second with 1 out. Here in the top half of the 7th inning, a new pitcher coming in for Georgia Tech when we return.
Today's Cup of Bullpen is presented by Chris Andrews. Now pitching for your Yellow Jackets, number 49, Caden Campbell. Now batting center fielder, number 7, Aiden Teal.
Caden Campbell, the new Georgia Tech pitcher, with runners at first and second. 1 out here, top of the 7th inning. Aiden Teal batting top of the order for Virginia. That one taken outside. He shakes his head after that fastball from Campbell. Big spot here for the Georgia Tech bullpen after a great start from Brady Jones, but 2 runners on and only 1 out. Teal took a big rip, but came up empty. So taking a look at Caden Campbell on the season, one of the more reliable arms out of the bullpen for Danny Hall, who made the call. 13 appearances, 11 2/3 innings, only 4 earned runs. 1-1. And he'll turn back to second to keep an eye on Nunnally. He was going to throw, but nobody was covering the bag. So good thing he held on to it. 1-1. Nunnally at second, Hanson at first. That's a wicked slider that looked like it started behind Teal and somehow broke on the opposite side of him. I think he was bracing for it to hit him before it whipped back, but it's still inside, ball 2. And now a hitter's count for Aiden Teal, 0 for 3 today. And he goes down after that breaking ball and can't get to it. And you sense that Georgia Tech was playing the matchup with 2 lefties at the top of the order in Teal and Becker. The lefty, Caden Campbell, trying to get these 2 huge outs. Teal, ground ball up the middle. It's going to be knocked down by the shortstop, Lodies. He slides to pick that one up, but he doesn't have a play at any base, and so Teal is safe, and the bases are loaded. Sounded like he got that one off the end cap of the bat, and it just trickled through the infield. Thought it was going to get through, but Lodies slides to save it and probably saves a run in the process. Although not sure how far into center field that one would have gotten. Not the hardest hit ball Aiden Teal's ever had, but it counts as a hit just the same. Bases loaded for Eric Becker. That comes inside to him. 1-0. Becker responsible for one of Virginia's 2 runs today, a solo home run back in the first inning. Another solo home run by Henry Ford. Last inning, Ford stands on deck. 1-0. Becker cuts at the high heat there, but can't get the bat to it. It's 1-1. Nunnally at third. Hanson at second. Teal at first. Becker just going to try to put the ball in play here, and the Cavaliers are thinking about getting a little breathing room. Becker lines it to left center. It'll drop. 1 run is going to score. They're going to wave Hanson home as well. It's 2 RBIs for Eric Becker, delivering with the bases loaded, and that will provide the space that the Cavaliers have been looking for this afternoon. Now a 3-run Virginia lead here in the top of the 7th, and 2 lefties faced, neither one retired for Caden Campbell. Danny Hall is already making his strides back to the pitcher's mound, and we're going to have another pitching change here in the inning. That hit by Becker, the 10th of the game for the Cavaliers. Campbell exits. We'll have a new arm for Georgia Tech with a new score, 4-1 Cavaliers here in the top of the 7th. Runners at first and second, still just 1 out, and Henry Ford due up to bat.
Call the bullpen is presented by R.S. Andrews. Now pitching for your Yellow Jackets, number 38, Carson Ballard.
New pitcher for Georgia Tech is number 38, the redshirt sophomore Carson Ballard. Coming into the game here for Georgia Tech, just trying to keep that deficit at 3. Virginia's looking to add to it, though. Henry Ford, his first pitch is taken away. Ball 1. 1-0, here the count now. Ballard, 12 appearances, 1 save and a 1-3 record, 4.88 ERA, and 24 innings of work, all in relief this season. Ford chopper towards short, Lodies to Hernandez to Giesler. That is a 6-4-3. How about that pitch from Carson Ballard to get the Jackets out of the inning? But Virginia adds 2 more runs. Eric Becker delivering his second and third RBIs of the day. Cavaliers now a little breathing room, 4-1 lead, and we're headed for the 7th inning stretch here at Russ Chandler Stadium. Bottom of the 7th when we come back.
Leading off left fielder, number 6, Caleb Daniel.
Bottom of the 7th inning now, all stretched out here from Russ Chandler Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Virginia Cavaliers lead the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets by a score of 4-1. And Bradley Hodges returns to the mound for the Cavaliers. He's retired the last 7 batters he's faced, 3 strikeouts in that stretch as well, and a little bit of run support for the lefty. Looks like they've got somebody throwing in the bullpen, and it ricochets right back off him. Gets to it quickly. He's not going to be able to field it, though. That'll be a hit, just the second of the game, as Hodges surrenders the single, and I think that hit his thigh, and so both Brian O'Connor and the athletic trainer Brian McGuire are stepping out to the mound. This may be the end of the road for Hodges, not only because he took that one off the leg, but a base runner, and Coach Oak is talking it through to him. Hodges sprung right back up off the mound to hustle over to that one. He was trying to make the play, but couldn't get to it in time. I don't think he would have gotten Daniel running down the line anyway. But a heck of an effort there from Bradley Hodges, and now it looks like he's going to go through a couple of tosses to ensure that he's doing okay. That first one missed a little high, but right now just looking to make sure that he's okay. Coach O'Connor's going back to the dugout, and I think that means Hodges is going to stay in this game. So that'll be a single for Daniel. Whether or not Hodges would have made the play on that one, that's a hard hit ball right back up the middle. You'll give Daniel a single on that one every time, regardless of what happened there. But now a situation that Hodges has not been in since the first inning. A runner on with nobody out. Lackey goes after the next pitch, but can only foul it away. Hodges had retired the leadoff hitter in every inning since that first, and that'll go a long way in longevity in an appearance. But now has to deal with a runner at first. First time since the 4th inning that Georgia Tech has even had a base runner. There's a strike, and Hodges showing no signs of injury despite taking that liner. He is laser focused in right now. Again, that single from Daniel, only the 2nd hit of the day. First, since the first batter, Hodges had been in some kind of groove. That's a good looking pitch, especially with 2 strikes there. It dropped in the dirt. It was a breaking ball, but looked like it hung up, and he was trying to get Lackey to chase. Couldn't get him. This is Hodges' longest career outing at 6 innings, 83 pitches, now at 86 after this at bat to Lackey. And elevates the fastball, but misses upstairs 2-2. So I would think if at any point the tying run comes to the plate, Virginia will go to their bullpen because Hodges has given them everything today and then some. 2-2, trying to get one out against Lackey here. And there's a called strike 3. Hodges bounces back after taking a liner off the leg and gets Lackey looking. Second time he's down on strikes. Hodges now matching a career high with 7. Danielso getting his lead off of first, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Carson Kearse now batting. He's going to show bunt, pops it up towards third. Hansen charging in, fields it with the glove. The throw is in time, so a sacrifice bunt. But down 3, I think Virginia is fully content to allow the base runner to advance there and take the out, because now you got 2 outs in the inning, and you got the lefty-lefty matchup. Now, Schmidt is a great hitter, but you at least, in theory, get a decent matchup against Schmidt here. Daniel is in scoring position, but the Cavaliers, by virtue of those insurance runs in the top of the 7th inning, thanks to Eric Becker, have a 3-run lead and are not really too concerned with that run out at second. And Schmidt gets a piece of the ball, fouls it behind him. Kent Schmidt this season, now I say a favorable matchup, but really Schmidt has hit left-handed hitting quite well. 16 of 33, 485 this season against left-handed pitching. That one's upstairs, and it's 1-1. 2 away for Kent Schmidt, leading the Jackets in batting average, but hasn't played since March 18th until this weekend. Pinch hit double last night, and checks his swing. It's a called strike anyway, and Kent Schmidt has one of the most unique bats in college baseball as well. Custom-made hot dog bat that he's sporting right now. You can see the ketchup and mustard lines from up here in the press box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is a big pitch from Hodges, trying to get through another scoreless frame. Grounder up the middle, backhand stop by Godbout, turn and throw. He spiked it, but he got him! What a play by Henry Godbout, and the inning is going to be over, but hold on, because Georgia Tech is protesting, saying that Schmidt almost certainly beat that throw. Now, not the end of the world if this goes against Virginia, but this will be a close play at the bag. Schmidt had a foot issue is what's been holding him out, and so maybe not the fastest down the first base line. He was hustling as hard as he could, though, trying to beat that one out. Godbout reached over on a hard hit ball, fielded it on a backhand, kind of lost his footing throwing it towards first base, but he got it far enough away that the bounce was easy for Arroyo to field, and if he can get this out, Bradley Hodges will make it through his 7th inning of work. It was a close play. I thought initially Schmidt was going to be able to beat it out, but it was certainly bang, bang. First base umpire right there. At the very least, that play from Godbout is going to save a run. And the question is, will the inning be over, or will it be first and third for John Giesler? And if that's the case, does Virginia look to make a pitching change with the righty up and the tying run at the plate? It's going to be close, but they call him out. Virginia gets through another inning, and Bradley Hodges posts another 0. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run for Hodges. Cavaliers lead 4-1, final 2 frames, top of the 8th when we come back.
Leading off first baseman number 23, Chris Arroyo.
Great play by Henry Godbout to help the Cavaliers get out of that bottom of the 7th inning. Jackets had a runner in scoring position, but he did not score. Now the Hoos can look to add to their 3-run lead. They lead 4-1. Chris Arroyo takes a breaking ball from Carson Ballard for a called strike. Arroyo 2 for 2, having a good day at the plate, a double and a single so far. And that almost looked like an eephus pitch coming in from Ballard, 69 miles an hour on the breaking ball there, but it misses. 1-1. This is hard hit on the ground. Charging in from shallow right is Hernandez. He'll be able to get to that ground ball, and throw to first is in time. Virginia trying to take the series here in Atlanta after Georgia Tech came into Charlottesville last year and won 2-1. In the final game of that series, Georgia Tech won 17-12 and had 25 hits in the Sunday finale. Virginia now is going to add to their hit total because Henry Godbout lines one hard into left center, and now he's safe at first with his 3rd single of the day. Puts a runner at first with 1 out. Carson Ballard got a ground ball double play from Henry Ford to end that 7th inning. That was a huge pitch to pick the Jackets back up, but Hodges worked another scoreless inning in the 7th, despite taking a liner off the leg. Now Virginia's got a runner at first with 1 out for Jacob Ferentz. That is a called strike on the fastball, outside corner. Ferentz looking for his first hit today. Cavaliers have 11 after Godbout's single. Ballard looking in, taking a glance over his shoulder, but fires high. Fastball misses. 1-1. Carson Ballard, 26 strikeouts to just 4 walks this season. So the scout on him is he's going to be in the zone. You better go up ready to hit. 1-1. Ferentz hit one deep, his 2nd at bat. That one is low and away though, 2-1. If there is one batter in the lineup that is going to work the count against a guy like this, you'd think it'd be Ferentz. He has drawn 14 walks this season and a .459 on base percentage. But he checked the swing there, and he did go around, says the first base umpire. .459 OBP coming into today, the highest on the team. Godbout gets his lead over at first. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to Virginia's 6th-year catcher. There's a turn and throw, and I think that's part of the scout for Georgia Tech. 2 strikes. Virginia likes to send base runners. Whether it's a hit and run on to try and eliminate the double play or try to put some pressure on the opposing pitching. Godbout does go, pitches low and away. Sliding in, out at second, trying to steal. Vaughn Lackey. Not a great pitch, but had to backhand that one, pull it up, and all in one motion gets Godbout out at second base. That eliminates his single. That is the 3rd time Godbout has been caught stealing this season. He's now 4 for 7 on the year. Ferentz pops this one up behind him, foul. Now batting with the bases empty. Just trying to keep the inning going. Harrison Didowick is on deck. Top 8. Be interesting to see what Virginia does pitching in that 8th inning, because Bradley Hodges has been the guy today for the Cavaliers. 3-2. Liner, and he dumps it into left for a single. Cleared the head and the glove of Carson Curse over at third base, and Jacob Ferentz has a hit in each of the games in this series. A single with 2 outs to keep the line moving. Harrison Didowick now. And though Virginia leads by 3, any runs scored, they're going to feel a lot better about picking up a series victory here in Atlanta. 2 away. Runner at first. Didowick got a pitch he liked and fouls it back. Lackey shaken up after that one. Not sure what happened exactly, but he's still doubled over for the moment. And the Georgia Tech trainer is going to come out to take a look at him. Couldn't tell what happened there. Didn't sound like it was any sort of solid contact, at least with any part of the equipment, just sort of a nick off the bat. But it might have been enough to change directions and cross up Lackey so that he was not positioned well to receive that one. Catchers, they take a beating. And yet Lackey seems like he's doing okay. He's sitting upright on his knees. Gets a pat from the trainer, and it looks like he'll be okay to stay in this one. Good sign. And Harrison Didowick will hop back into the batter's box. So you got Jacob Ferentz over at first base now, and he's got 5 stolen bases on 6 attempts. And with a pronounced shift on the infield, Kyle Lodies would have to come back to cover the bag. That is ripped. And Harrison Didowick, looks like he had it out for Matt Kirby on that swing as he had to hop out of the way, lost his balance momentarily, but stayed on his feet. Coach Kirby showing that athleticism over there. 0-2. 2 away here in the inning. Ballard trying to keep the deficit at 3 for the Jackets. Misses upstairs this time, though. Bringing the fastball in at 93 miles an hour. 4 runs on 12 hits now for the Cavaliers, and they lead by 3. Going for the series win here this afternoon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferentz going, pitches low, Lackey throws down to second. This one gets by the shortstop and trickles into center. Ferentz hops up off the ground, and he's going to head to third, and he's in safely there. That looks like a risky proposition when Ferentz took off, yet hustles all the way from first to third, stealing second and taking third in the process on the throwing error. Well, Ferentz didn't even realize it had gotten into center until a second or two after. And when he got up and took off, being honest with you, I thought he was going to be dead meat at third base. But the throw was down the line towards left in third, and Ferentz able to dive in head first safely, taking 1 base, stealing his 6th of the season, and then taking advantage of the throwing error to take another. And now we've got a conference on the mound between the pitching coach for Georgia Tech, Matt Taylor, in his 2nd season, and the entire GT infield. Maybe a little bit of coaching for the rest of the Yellow Jackets here after that misplay. And trying to put a little confidence into Carson Ballard as well. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to Harrison Didowick. Conference concludes, and again, that's only the second time we've seen a mound visit in the middle of an inning that has not been a pitching change from either side. And in fact, all of the visits have come from Georgia Tech because Bradley Hodges has been so dominant. Cavaliers haven't need to coach him up at all. Didowick takes low and inside, and now this is going to be a big pitch here. Virginia could add to their lead. They could get a base runner. Or Georgia Tech could get back to the dugout. Ballard delivers. Foul tip for Didowick, and he stays alive to see another pitch. Didowick drove in a run yesterday. 19 RBIs for him this season. Would love to get to 20 here and help his team stretch their lead. Ballard gets the sign and delivers. Lifted to right, off the bat, it's out of here! Harrison Didowick goes yard. Cavaliers add to their lead yet again. One swing from Didowick makes this a 5-run ball game. Virginia firmly out in front. And who's there to greet him? Bradley Hodges. 6-1 Hoos. Harrison Didowick's 4th home run of the season. And some Jackets fans are headed for the exits. Down 5. What a clutch hit from Harrison Didowick with 2 outs here in the 8th. Now James Nunnally, ground ball, sharply hit, backhand stop by Lodies, throws in the dirt, but one hop to Giesler, he's got it. Inning over. Harrison Didowick leaves the yard to add to Virginia's lead, who's out in front by 5. 6-1 Virginia, and they've got 6 outs to get. Bottom of the 8th when we return here in Atlanta.
Now pitching number 13, Ryan Osinski.
Cavaliers used 7 pitchers last night, and through 7 innings today, needed only 1, but Bradley Hodges finally exits this game and turns it over to Ryan Osinski out of the Virginia bullpen. 6 outs for the Virginia relievers to get, and they will win this series over the number 24 team in the country, and it would be a big help to their postseason resume. Looks like we are going to have a pinch hitter here to begin this inning as the freshman Will Baker pinch hits for the second straight evening. Last night, Baker a hit in his lone at bat. Osinski gives him a fastball on the outside corner there. Missed with the first pitch, so it's 1-1. Ryan Osinski this season, 14 appearances, 2-2 record, 2 saves in 20 1/3 innings, and a 5.31 ERA. This one hit out to center. Teal tracking it, and he's got plenty of time to get over, shading towards left field, crossing over the batter's eye and making the catch for out number 1. Osinski on the season in those 20 1/3 innings has allowed 12 earned runs, 13 total, 23 hits, 22 strikeouts, 14 walks. Opponents hitting .284 against him. One away, Connor Schaus, the number 9 hitter. And pretty good pitch to start him, 97, but a little too far outside, maybe a little up as well. Osinski, a Virginia native out of Alexandria, but began his college career at Bucknell. Played there in 23, last 2 seasons has been with Brian O'Connor and the Cavaliers. That one misses low and away, 2-0. 4-1 record last year. And the interesting thing to watch with Osinski this year has been the uptick in velocity and the increased strikeout totals. 2-0. This one hit high, out to right, Ford at the wall. He runs out of room. Connor Schaus, his second home run of the season, a solo shot to right, and that is a much-needed shot in the arm of the Georgia Tech offense because they had not scored since the first inning, but a solo home run, and Virginia's lead trimmed a bit. Was 5, now 4. Just the 3rd hit of the game for Georgia Tech, but it's a big one to get them back on the scoreboard. Cavaliers up by 4. Well, off the bat, wasn't sure if Schaus had gotten all of it. It was a high fly ball, making me think initially he got under it just a bit, but he put the barrel to it, and that was out with a little room to spare as well. That's a called strike to Kyle Lodies. Took a little something off that one. Going back to Osinski, though, last year had just 13 strikeouts in 30 innings pitched. This year, 22 strikeouts in 20 1/3. Gets a swing and a miss there, another slider. And Lodies comes up empty. Kyle Lodies, 1 for 3 today, a double and a run scored. That was way back in the first inning. 0-2. And that one is low and outside. Well, we saw a late surge from the Yellow Jackets in the 9th inning last night. They had 2 solo home runs in the 9th inning. One from Caleb Daniel, one from Carson Curse. This time it's Connor Schaus. Here's the 1-2. Lodies lays off that pitch in the dirt. And now the count back even at 2-2. That's the thing against some of these great hitters. Even when you get on top of them, you've still got to make that 3rd pitch. Otherwise, these guys are just so good with the bat in their hands, and Kyle Lodies, one of the best in the league, if not the country. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Osinski delivers. This one fouled away. Went back to the heater at 97. And that's the other part I was mentioning. Osinski last year, much more controlled delivery. Rarely did you see him even get close to the mid-90s. This season, he's at 95 and above with most of his fastballs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, grounder towards third, diving stop made by Hansen to his feet. The throw in time. What a play by Luke Hansen. Now they'll certainly take another look at this, but if it stands, that is going to be as good of a play as you'll see a third baseman make. Robbing it from the line and throwing it all the way across the diamond. Call went in Virginia's favor last time. We'll see if the same happens this time. If so, it's going to be a big boost here to the Cavaliers' efforts in closing this one out. It'll either be 2 outs, bases empty for Drew Burress, or only 1 out, 1 on for Burress, and the heart of the order due up after him. Could be a swing moment here, but what a play by Luke Hansen, regardless of what's going to be called here. That is just picture-esque with the way he fielded that one, got to his feet. Shades of, Virginia fans might remember, Kenny Towns in the College World Series back in the day, but that one, a long throw. Hansen was behind the bag when he fielded that one, and yet, even if he didn't get him, just to make that play close, I think was worthy of a gold star there. We'll see if the call goes Virginia's way. Could be a big moment here. Hansen getting dapped up regardless of what the final call is going to be. Osinski is going to go into a little bit of a warm-up toss here from the mound while the umpires deliberate. Had a review at the end of the 7th inning on a ground ball where Kent Schmidt was hustling down the line. It was Godbout making the play that time. And will Hansen make another web gem here for Virginia? Here comes the call. Out at first base. Kyle Lodi's cut down on a stellar play by Luke Hansen. That's 2 calls that have not gone Georgia Tech's way. These fans are frustrated, but after 2 reviews, I don't think you can argue too much. Umpires have gotten good looks at every play over there at the bag. 2 away now, and that feels like a big moment in this one, as Drew Burress, certainly always capable of doing damage. The key would be to limit the damage, or Osinski can get out of the inning here. 4 outs separate Virginia from a series victory right now. 1-0. That one comes in. Backs Burress off the plate a little bit. 2-0. Now with that increase in velocity, Osinski has been prone to walk a batter. He's got 14 on the season. This one lined towards short, and it sneaks under the glove of Eric Becker. Well, I think Becker was caught between trying to catch that one in the air and trying to field it on the short hop. Just got caught in between the two, and a sinking liner gets under the glove of Becker, and that'll be a hit for Drew Burress, his first hit of the series. Hard to believe for the all-everything outfielder for the Jackets. He is aboard, though. 2 outs. Alex Hernandez batting now. You get a righty-on-righty matchup here. Hernandez is 0 for 3 with an RBI. That RBI earlier as a freshman gives him 47 on the season, and he's actually tied for the team lead in that department now. Four-run lead for Virginia. Bullpen trying to get him across the finish line after an amazing start from Bradley Hodges. Osinski hasn't gotten any sort of sign yet. He stepped off the mound and has been waiting, looking towards the dugout. And now Ferentz is going to go out to have a word with him. This is really the first mound visit we've seen from the Cavaliers. Hodges so dominant today in his 7 innings of work. Taking a look at his line. 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, matching a career high, 2 walks. Faced 25 batters through 93 pitches. and threw 55 strikes. What an outing, what a performance from Bradley Hodges. And it looks like Ryan Osinski will not be tasked to get the final out here in the 8th inning, because Brian O'Connor is making his way to the pitcher's mound here, and that indicates one thing: a pitching change for Virginia. Gets a pat on the side, and you know, he did get Burris to hit the ball at shortstop. Becker just couldn't make the play. It was ruled a single, though, because it was hit hard off the bat. And Osinski, appreciative of that play at third by Hansen, just went over and patted him on the chest. But after picking up the save last night, looks like the Cavaliers are going to turn once again to Matt Lanzendorfer coming out of the bullpen. The graduate transfer from the D3 ranks. Lanzendorfer, 3 saves on the season, and we'll come back. Bottom of the 8th inning, Virginia closing in on a series victory, but they've still got 4 outs to get and a 4-run lead. Osinski exits, gets 2 outs. Lanzendorfer will be called to get the final out here in the 8th when we come back here from Atlanta.
Now batting, number 4, Alex Hernandez.
2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning here, and Virginia turns to Matt Lanzendorfer, who has become sort of the de facto closer for this Virginia pitching staff. And he does lead the team with 3 saves, trying to get 1 out here, and feeds Alex Hernandez a strike. Hernandez 0 for 3, struck out looking his last time up. Lanzendorfer, 16 appearances now. His last was last night, but he's got a 3.42 ERA and a 3-2 record to go along with those 3 saves. This one popped up right side, but it's going to sneak out of play. People were headed for cover, but it gets out of the stadium entirely here. 0-2, Lanzendorfer filling up the zone here in his second appearance in as many days. 23 2/3 innings, allowing 9 earned runs on 15 hits. This one hit over to the right side, and it's foul again. Lanzendorfer last night, the final 2 outs, and picked up the save in the process. 1 strikeout. And he gets Hernandez swinging. Ferentz holds the mitt up to the home plate umpire. He caught it clean. Lanzendorfer does the job coming in. The Virginia bullpen holds on to the lead. The Jackets do get a solo home run from Connor Schaus, but Virginia's still out in front by 4. One chance for them to add to that lead when we return in the top of the 9th inning. Cavaliers going for the series victory here in Atlanta, Georgia against Georgia Tech.
Now playing first base, number 4, Alex Hernandez. Now at second base, number 7, Will Baker.
Virginia's offense will try to add to their 4-run lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Cavaliers were tied with Georgia Tech at 1 after the first inning. It held because Brady Jones and Bradley Hodges turned in 2 dynamite pitching performances. Cavaliers finally got back out in front in the 6th, and they haven't looked back. Leading by 4 now. Carson Ballard to Luke Hansen. That first pitch is grounded foul. A nice kick stop made by Kevin McMullen down at third base there before he let that one get by him. 0-1 here. That's a breaking ball. Ballard, that odd leg kick as he's coming up. Not the same every pitch, it looks like. Sometimes it pauses. Sometimes it's all smooth, one motion. Sometimes it's almost like it's got a little bit of a hitch. Hansen gets a piece of it. He stayed in the box, and the ball rolled to him, and therefore is foul. Hansen 1 for 2 today, singled in his last time up. Also would come around to score in that 7th inning. Goes the opposite way here. A ball that was hit in the air towards Connor Schaus out in right field, and Schaus just either misplayed it or totally missed it. But counts as a hit for Hansen. That's a breaking ball low and outside. That's the first ball of the AB. You mentioned Carson Ballard, just 4 walks all season in 24 innings coming in. He's got 1 save on the year, 1 and 2. And he gets Hansen swinging to pitch in the dirt. He'll take off for first, but Lackey completes the play, throwing down to first in time. And that is going to be out number 1. Second time Luke is down on strikes today. First strikeout for Carson Ballard. Defensive changes for the Jackets after Will Baker pinch hit in that 8th inning for Georgia Tech. Teal takes a fastball called strike. Aiden Teal leading off for Virginia today and batting second in this inning. 0-1. So Will Baker stays in the game. He's now at second base, and Hernandez has moved from second to first. John Giesler was the spot in the lineup that Will Baker pinch hit for. And you're caught up now, 1-1 to Aiden Teal after that last one missed. Teal hits this one hard on the ground, but right at the new second baseman, Will Baker. Playing in shallow right, makes the play. Ground ball out for Ballard, and Cavaliers go 2 up, 2 down here to begin this 9th inning. But the heart of the order looking to add to the lead because Eric Becker, a threat to do that every time he steps to the plate, did it in the first inning, did it in the 7th inning. 3 RBIs today for Becker. That's a called strike. On the outside corner, Ballard at 30 pitches now. Likely will be his only appearance of the weekend. Becker attacks that next pitch, and it's 0-2, just like that. Cavaliers obviously going up, expecting a strike from Ballard. Oh and 2, 2 outs. Becker gets the pitch, and he goes down swinging as well. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Carson Ballard. Cavaliers go down quietly here in the top of the 9th, but they lead 6-2. We're headed for the bottom of the 9th inning with a 4-run Cavalier lead. Who's trying to win the series? Lanzendorfer trying to pick up his 2nd save in as many days. When we come back here at Rush Chandler Stadium, Virginia, and Georgia Tech. Last chance for Georgia Tech, but Virginia is trying to close in on a series victory. A 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Matt Lanzendorfer closing out the game, or trying to here. He's got 3 outs to get for the 2nd night in a row. Got the final 2 outs last night. Looks like he'll try to get the final 4 here today. He'll face Caleb Daniel leading off. And decent looking first pitch fastball, but just misses outside. It'll be Daniel, Lackey, and Curse due up 4, 5, and 6 for the Jackets here in the 9th. 1-0. There's a strike. Lanzendorfer, another guy that's going to fill up the strike zone. 32 strikeouts. Compare that to 11 walks in 23 2/3 innings. 1-1. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Lanzendorfer, mostly a 2-pitch mix, has that sinking fastball and the breaking slider. Has a pitch that can go to either side of the plate, depending on who he's facing. Here's the 1-2, and looks like Daniel wants another moment. Steps out of the box. That may have been initiated by the home plate umpire even. Just a reset here. Lanzendorfer on the bump. Virginia's infield shifted to the right. And lost control of that one. Maybe held onto it for a little too long because it ended up in the opposite batter's box. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Daniel, a single his last time up. Got into scoring position for the Jackets, but nothing else. Ground ball towards that shift. It deflects off of Becker's glove. And that is going to allow the leadoff runner to reach here in the 9th inning. That'll be an error on Eric Becker. He got his glove to it. Sort of similar to the ground ball we saw from Chris Arroyo earlier. Hit sort of between the shortstop and second base. But Becker able to get to that one. And I think even he'll tell you, a play he should have made there. So the first error of the day for Virginia results in a base runner at first. And Lanzendorfer looks like he'll have to try to get maybe an extra out here before closing it out. Although a ground ball will be a big help here as well. And this one line to left, hangs up in the air, but it will one hop into James Nunnally. That is a clean single for Vaughn Lackey, his first hit of the day. Georgia Tech 2 on, nobody out now.
Third baseman, number 3, Carson
Carson
Kearse.
Kearse had a late home run last night, a solo shot to begin the 9th inning. Can't tie the game here, but can make it very interesting. 2 on, nobody out. Virginia leads by 4. Still enough breathing room at the moment. Breaking ball from Lanzendorfer, misses low. Well, the question is, I think Virginia was hoping to get all 4 of these final outs from Lanzendorfer. Who would they turn to if they need to go to another arm? Well, Lanzendorfer blows the fastball by Kearse that time. That solo home run for him last night was only his 2nd of the season, but he's got 31 RBIs. Has been hitting .355 on the year coming into this at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lanzendorfer looks back at second. Brings that one inside. Kearse has to back out of the way. 2 balls, 1 strike. Daniel in scoring position now once again at second base. Vaughn Lackey, the catcher, at first. Lackey has good speed as well, so an extra base hit. They may be looking to score him from first. Breaking ball, misses low and inside. It's 3-1. Kearse 0 for 2 today. Last time he was up, a sacrifice bunt. 3 balls, 1 strike. That's a fastball that catches the top of the zone. Kearse, I think, was looking to get on base so that the tying run could come to the plate in the form of Kent Schmidt. 3-2. Fouled back. Kearse liked it. Eyes lit up, took a big hack. Only gets a piece. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Georgia Tech not going down easily today, and that is a walk. Bases loaded, which means the tying run is going to come to the plate. And Virginia's going to have a mound meeting now. And 2 arms getting loose. Alex Marcus and Evan Blanco throwing for the Cavaliers down in their bullpen. Lefty-lefty matchup here for Lanzendorfer against Schmidt. But as we said last time he was up, Schmidt actually hits left-handers better than righties. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here comes Drew Dickinson. Got to settle things down if you're the Virginia pitching coach, or at least buy some time if they are going to make a move. We'll say Lanzendorfer should have had 1 out this inning, should have gotten the leadoff batter, but Becker, a misplay. And now the entire infield can come together again. So we've had 2 mound visits before a pitch is thrown. Now Virginia has some to burn, obviously, being the 9th inning, but this is about as big a spot as you'll find here. Bases loaded, nobody out. 4-run lead for the Hoos against Kent Schmidt, making his first start since March 18th against Gardner Webb. Came in last night as a pinch hitter, started today as the DH. He's 0 for 3. It took a great play from Henry Godbout last time he was up to prevent him from getting a hit. But base is empty, nobody out. Cavaliers need outs. Can Lanzendorfer provide them, or are they going to have to go back to the bullpen here? First pitch. Pretty decent, but misses outside. Looks like Lanzendorfer gave him the heater. Schmidt, 407 this season. That's the batting average, 27 RBIs. Here's a breaking ball, called strike. Comes in the front door on that slider there. Schmidt has a quick question for Doug Vines behind the plate, just making sure he's got a full grasp of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball, grounded out towards second. Godbout stumbles, gets it to Becker. He holds the bag, but what looked like a tailor-made double play ball. They get 1 out, but lucky that Becker was able to hold the bag there. And I think Georgia Tech wants to look at it. I don't blame them. You might as well ask for the review to make sure Becker held the bag, because 1 run comes home to score on the play. It's now a 3-run game. If Becker didn't hold the bag, all of a sudden you got the tying run at first base and still nobody out. So another swing moment coming down to a review here at Russ Chandler Stadium. Throw definitely beat the runner at second, but because Godbout lost his footing, he lost his momentum on the throw, and also the toss was off target. So Schmidt may have an RBI here. Question is he going to have the bases loaded again, or is Georgia Tech going to have the bases loaded again? Should be a fairly quick review, I would think. Just checking whether or not the fielder held the bag. That would be Becker at short. Umpire pointed to the bag, making the call there. But Lanzendorfer has pitched himself into a bit of a jam here. Not aided by his defense, though. That looked like it should have been a surefire double play ball, but instead it results in 1 out, at least for the moment, pending this review. An error, a single, and a walk. Kent Schmidt is going to pick up an RBI, so he'll have 28 on the season. But what will be the result of this one? Lanzendorfer tossing to stay loose here. It's still going to be first and third with 1 out, so tying run will still be at the plate regardless of who's the batter, or if this out stands. Will Baker is due up. He pinch hit his last time up, so comes back out. Here comes the call. Runner is out at second base. That's a big sigh of relief there for the Cavaliers, because they get 1 out, but the job is not done, because Georgia Tech is going to have the tying run at the plate. And they are going to send another pinch hitter to the plate here. Will Baker had the bat in his hand, but they'll turn to Nathan Waugh again. And there's also a pinch runner at first, Cooper McMullen, the freshman from Bon Air, Georgia, replacing Kent Schmidt, who has been out with the last month with a foot issue, and therefore probably smart to get a pinch runner for him, as that could be a critical run for the Yellow Jackets. Check swing, he went, says the first base umpire, Nathan Waugh. The 5th-year catcher on the roster from Placentia, California, and a transfer in from Cornell. First and third, 1 out. Breaking ball misses downstairs, and it's 1-1. Waugh last night had 2 at-bats, was 0 for 2. Lackey breaks off a third base just to try to draw the attention. This is a tapper back towards the mound. Lansendorfer will have one play at first. Lackey didn't break for the plate either. So the runner advances from first to second. That's Curse. Excuse me, that is the pinch runner, Cooper McMullen. 2 outs now for the Cavaliers. Connor Schaus batting for Georgia Tech. And I don't need to tell you what he did his last time up if you're a Virginia fan. Gets a fastball here from Lansendorfer. 0-1. So you got 2 runners on, 2 outs. Tying run is at the plate as Schaus represents the last chance for the Yellow Jackets. Hits one in the air to the right side. Arroyo chasing, Ford running after it, but it will bounce over on the right side near the Cavalier bullpen. 2 strikes. 2 away. Virginia looking for a series victory here in Atlanta. Matt Lansendorfer gets the sign, wants to reset. Brushes that glove across his jersey, indicating it. 0-2. Schaus waits, swings, and foul tips it. It bounces over towards the third base side. And it will do it again. Credit to these Georgia Tech fans. They've stuck around, most of them anyhow, till the bitter end here. Threatening. Down 3, Virginia on top. That one's high. 1-2. Bradley Hodges gave the Cavaliers 7 stellar innings. Can the bullpen do the rest? That one upstairs, pops up out of the mitt, but Ferentz holds on to it. Now 2-2. Well, with the way these Georgia Tech hitters can swing the bat, you're never truly at ease until the ball game is over. 2-2. Line to right center. That'll get down in the gap. 2 more runs are going to come home. Connor Schaus is going to head to second, and he will represent the tying run in what is now a 1-run ball game. 6-5 clutch, 2-out RBI double for Connor Schaus, who is almost single-handedly trying to will the Jackets back in this one. 3 RBIs today in the last 2 innings. Standing in scoring position now for Kyle Lodies. McMullen and Lackey score on the play. And Kyle Lodies will square off, but it'll be a new Cavalier pitcher because Brian O'Connor has to walk his way out to the mound again. Who does he go with? Does he go with the veteran Blanco, who is mostly a starter, started earlier this week? Could he get the final out? Or will he turn to Alex Marcus, the grad transfer from William & Mary? You got the right-handed hitting Lodies up. Looks like he'll turn to the righty, Marcus. Cavaliers need 1 out here, bottom of the 9th inning, but the Jackets with a late surge once again, 3 runs home already, and Virginia, the fans biting their nails as Marcus makes his way to the pitcher's mound. We'll come back in just a moment in what will be the biggest at-bat of the game. Kyle Lodies against Alex Marcus. When we return, Cavaliers trying to close out a series victory here in Atlanta. Alex Marcus comes on to try to get the final out for the Hoos here. 12 appearances for the grad transfer from William and Mary. His job, get the final out of this ball game. The tying run is at second base for Georgia Tech. Connor Schaus delivered a 2-out, 2 RBI double to make this a 1-run game. Now Kyle Lodies is the batter. Breaking ball, called strike. I think Marcus got a friendly call there. That was a good-looking pitch. But the way it finished, Ferentz tried to pull it back, but he didn't need to, apparently. Marcus, 16 strikeouts, 14 walks. Lodies goes the opposite way, and it's 0-2. Only 5 earned runs in 11 1/3 innings for Alex Marcus. Kyle Lodies on the day is 1 for 4, a double and a run scored in the first inning. Schaus at second. Marcus looking in, 1 pitch away from a series victory. Good pitch, almost got Lodies to commit, but that's just a great hitter, recognizing the pitch at just the right moment. 1-2. Slider that just fell off right at the end, but enough discipline from Lodies. Now 1-2. Marcus looks back, now deals. Outside, another great take from Lodies, but just off the outside corner. 94 that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out to get for Virginia. Can they do it? Take down a ranked foe in their home ballpark. 2-2. Ground ball foul. Staying alive. Kyle Lodies with 2 outs this season, batting .350. Batting .359 with runners in scoring position. Can Alex Marcus win the battle here? 2-2 delivered. Swung on and missed. Alex Marcus gets the final out, striking out Kyle Lodies. Hoos win the game. Hoos win the series. 6-5, your final score from Russ Chandler Stadium. Virginia takes the second game in as many days from the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and the Cavaliers have won the series over the number 24 team in the country. What a huge win for the Cavaliers. A resume booster and a conference series victory to boot over the winningest active coach in the ACC. Cavaliers come to Atlanta and take the first 2 to take the series. What a game. Closes out with a thriller. 3 runs from Georgia Tech, but they are unable to get that final run in, that tying run in from second base. They score those 3 runs, but it was not quite enough. And the Cavaliers win. Final score, 6-5. You can listen to the series finale tomorrow on News Radio WINA 98.9 FM, 1070 AM, as the Cavaliers will go for the series sweep over the Yellow Jackets. But today, the Hoos picking up the series victory with a 6-5 win. And before I go, one final tip of the cap to Bradley Hodges. In his first career ACC start, 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, a masterful performance that helped Virginia win this game and win this series. Brian O'Connor and the Hoos, they're happy on a Saturday night. Hope you've got a great one ahead of you as well. And make sure you tune in to the series finale tomorrow on News Radio WINA. That'll do it for our broadcast here today, though. Cavaliers win over Georgia Tech and take the series by a final score of 6-5. We thank you for listening in to this audio broadcast of Virginia baseball, and we'll see you again next time on The Diamond.